Hello everybody, this is Akash. I am at this beautiful venue in downtown Toronto, the Selby. It is amazing, the weather is really beautiful and I thought this seems like a good opportunity to make a video. Usually I talk about the stock markets, but today I was reading into something. I invested 16 hours in this research and I am going to make it worthwhile. I'm going to talk about crypto world, FTT, FTX, SPF, whatever the hell is going on. I'm going to talk about it, how it happened, the unfolding, my takes. But before I do that, I'll give you a quick tour of this place because this is absolutely amazing. You guys will love it.
I'm not gonna say what it is that I'm feeling, cause then it's too real. Can't get too close, cause I'd rather be lonely than watch you disappear. You're giving me the things I want and need. But in the end I'm always gonna leave. Why am I running from love? I keep running from love. I keep running from love. Oh, why am I running from love? I keep running from love. I keep running from love. Oh.
Now, news started spreading in the first week of November that FTX, the global crypto exchange, went from 32 billion market cap to zero in 2 weeks. Imagine, 32 billion to absolute shit in 2 weeks. That is a big fall. The reason for that was kind of stupid. I mean, if you're running such a big business, you shouldn't be doing shady deals. I mean, but that's what people do, human nature. But SPF, what a stupid guy. So now when we read reports like FTX was worth 32 billion, that's more like an arbitrary number. And that valuation explains as, if you ask FTX, like, hey, how much are you worth? And they're like, we're worth 32 billion. Can you explain the valuation? They're like, sure. We had office supplies, we had computers, we had desks, we had furniture, and then we had this big giant pile of FTT coins. Like, okay, how much is it worth? Like, we sold one for $80. Like, okay. And what's it worth now? Like, that's what the market says, $80. So I was like, no, you guys are morons. That's not worth $80 because that was in the bull market. Right now it could be worth maybe even zero. So if the underlying asset that utility coins are usually based on some sort of services. Now if FTX goes bust, what's the point of having FTT coins? It's worth nothing because what's the point of having a utility coin when there's no sort of value behind that utility coin? So it's practically worth nothing. That coin is useless. So you can't say that it's worth $80. So 32 billion is sort of a made up number. It's not an actual valuation of the company. Anyway, point being, how did this happen? I'll get to that, but first you need to understand why was the regulation not happening here. Because in the traditional finance world, you have regulations even for the little things when you move around money, because in the auditing, you have to explain what you did. But in coins, in the crypto world, regulations are not that strict. Because you see how the market crashed in the NFT world, how it's crashing and the ripple effects are coming down to, there was a lot of crash going on Luna. I mean, you name it. I'm not going to get into that. This one is sort of a really big mess up because the tail effects are going to be really bad and they may even touch the capital markets, and that's what I was worried about. I wouldn't know if it will touch or not, but they're all interconnected, so I can't say that it wouldn't be visible in the capital markets. Anyway, how did this happen? So cryptocurrency originated based on the idea of freedom. Like, people wanted their money to be safe and they didn't want any sort of intervention from the central banks. When companies like FTX issue coins, FTT coins, they become the central banks because now they're in charge of that coin. They are the ones who control this whole ecosystem of theirs. And when such large company can crash, you can imagine how it affects the global markets. So it's ironic that you wanted a decentralized place, but then you made it so messy that you wanted some sort of regulation from the government. Doesn't make any sense. So what was Sam Bankman-Fried doing in this case? SBF essentially transferred funds from FTX to his own trading firm Almeda Research. And that is not good. I mean, it's shady. You can't, and this happens even in the stock markets. I've seen it with my own eyes. Stockbrokers use their clients' funds for their own trading. I mean, that's not a huge deal because in stock markets you have regulations of SEBI and SEC, and then you can get caught. You could go, you have to pay a huge hefty fine for that. Anyway, you could lose your license. But anyway, that's not the point. In this case, there is no sort of regulation that can save the consumer from doing such shady deals, because the only regulation you have is the auditors. And if I'm investing in a company, I would want to believe the auditors report at the end. If I'm investing in FTX, I would believe the auditors because they've done their due diligence and I would want to believe them. I cannot go vet their books when I'm buying FTT or anything of that sort. Either they had some sort of internal pressure from the management, or maybe they didn't want to look deep into it because they knew what they were going to find out and they're just waiting for somebody else to blow up the cover. And in this case, CZ did that. I'll get to that.
If you could, to when you first got the call from Sam and you first had a chance to look at the books, because I think a lot of people are still trying to understand exactly what happened here. How much of this was about commingling? How much of this was about terrible marking of the books? What did you see?
Yeah, I think I got a call from Sam 48 hours after I made the tweet, and then he wanted to talk. So at the beginning, I thought he would just wanted to, do a buyout on, do an OTC deal to buy out the FTT tokens we had. And then he wanted actually a buyout of the entire firm, of the entire FTX platform. And then, but then we got our team on it. It was pretty clear pretty soon that there's, there's misappropriation of user funds. The user funds are gone. And at that point, it's clearly that he lied to his users, his investors, his VC investors, his employees. At that point, I thought I couldn't, like whatever data that's in the data room, we couldn't trust anymore. So it was quite hard for us to do that due diligence. So we didn't go very far.
Why do you believe FTX failed?
I couldn't get answers from any of the executives in the firm, so I simply called Sam Bankman-Fried and said, "Where is the money, Sam?" He said he had been clearing price with other buyers and you do the transaction. In my view, my personal opinion, these two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But Binance is a massive, unregulated, global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business. Now, lots of other reasons, I'm sure, but that's my personal opinion.
I'm struggling between finding a balance between their intentions and by accident, whatever they claim it. And it makes no sense. The only lesson that I have from this story is that whether you're making an investment in a crypto asset or it's equities or whatever that is, real estate, the number one thing that I look into is who are the people behind it. And if I have any sort of red flags in that, I mean, there is no chance that I would invest in it. SPF had sort of given red flags already. He said, I don't care about my legacy. I mean, if somebody of that caliber says that they don't care about themselves, you can say, why would they care about you even? You can imagine the degree of pain it's going to come from this. In the crypto space, 99% of people still don't understand how this works because everybody wanted a decentralized internet, but nobody understands what this is because we're still new in this. And this gives an incredible opportunity for hucksters to create an asset that has no intrinsic value, but based on market perception, running marketing campaigns by hiring celebrities, doing sports deals, brand endorsements, and then they create a perceived value and they sell that product. FTX did all of that, but in the end, it turned out how it turned out. I mean, the truth always comes out. I mean, if this hadn't happened, you wouldn't have known that something that's perceived as this valuable could crash. A lot of things happened in the stock markets as well. I could name companies worth billions of dollars that have crashed based on malintentions by management. But this story gives a lesson for you that bet on the jockey, not the horse. This is like the holy grail of my investing. Always bet on the jockey and understand who the people are, and then make an investment if it's worth it. Thanks a lot, guys. This was my first in-depth video. I usually post reels on Instagram about investment strategies, how the market's doing like. If you haven't looked it up, look me up here. That's my handle. If you guys liked it, you know the drill. Hit like, share, subscribe, and whatever you want to do. Leave me a comment if I've made someone in crypto, or what your story has been like with FTT, FTX, whatever that is. I would love to get in touch with you. Hit me up anytime. I hope you guys had fun. Until next time. See ya.